And now, our story continues. After being kept speechless for an entire hour, the players were very chatty and talkative during their lunch break. All the players were using this time to know each other better, except for Tracy, who stayed in his room and claimed that he wasn't hungry. "He's probably afraid to face us like a real man," said Gary. Elise smiled dreamily, nodding to every word that Gary said. Her early crush on Gary only deepened, especially after his heroic attempt to win the challenge earlier today. "Whoever the mole is here, just make sure Tracy goes home the next week," said Matt, then shared a good laugh with Gary. The two men seemed to be clicking with each other through their similar styles and thinking. But some of the other players were feeling quite averse to joining in the Tracy bashing. Misty and Ash kept quiet, obviously not wanting to say anything bad about their friend. There were several times when Ash clutched his fists tightly and opened his mouth to argue in Tracy's defense, but Misty was quick to stomp her foot on Ash's shoe to prevent him from ruining their first pleasant meal together as a group. Group harmony, in her opinion, was the top priority. "Nothing brings the group more together than a common enemy, I guess," Sora shrugged as she gave a camera confessional. The kind-hearted leader also had an individual take on the whole situation. "I think it's a bit harsh at the way they're treating him. But hey, I'm not going to act self-righteous and tell them how immature they're behaving. I'm not the person who will regret what I see on television later." From the moment she entered the show, Sora was very conscious with how the cameras were going to portray her on television. It was her main fear when she applied on the show with her boyfriend, because she was afraid that they would edit in a bad personality, a false one, for her. She was only being herself after all, but she also didn't want to say anything that she would regret later on. Besides, she understood what Tracy had to do in this game, but she didn't quite understand why the players were being so brutal against Tracy, with the gang mentality and all. "It's always just a game for me," Sora gave a small smile to the cameras. "I guess some people forget about that." After the brief lunch break, all 10 players were aboard the bus again, driving to their next destination. During the ride, Misty and Yoli broke the gap between Pokemon and Digimon series by sitting beside each other. Purple-haired Yoli found an instant liking for the fiery redhead, appreciating her assertiveness and their many similar traits and interests. "Tell me what you think of Gary," said Yoli giggly, turning their conversation into the subject that she found fascinating. In her mind, Gary was still an enigma, a challenge, and a potential boyfriend. "He isn't my type. Too egotistical." Misty scrunched up her face in reply. "Like Ash, she never liked the conceited little prick." "He did a pretty good job in the challenge, though, I suppose." "Is Tracy really as bad as he seems?" Yuli asked, changing the topic. "No, he is misunderstood, that's all." And as much as Yoli wanted to carry on the conversation, she was finding it difficult to acquire any valuable information from her new friend Misty. They could have a smoothly flowing conversation just fine when they were talking about irrelevant topics to the game, but as soon as Yoli tried to learn more about the Pokemon cast, Misty would clam up and give out short, vague answers. "My strategy is to befriend everybody and learn more about their backgrounds, but Misty is making it so difficult for me to know everybody," Yoli explained in her confessional, sounding slightly baffled. "We could talk for hours about stupid things like clothes or sports, but her lips are sealed when it comes down to talking about her friends. I mean, the girl is great, but she is driving me crazy." But Yoli liked Misty enough, and she continued to play in her charade. Maybe, in enough time, she will be able to break down Misty's barrier of distrust for her, or at least that was what Yoli optimistically hoped for. Misty knew exactly what Yoli was doing, and the feisty gym leader did not plan to tell her new friend a single thing. After a 2-hour drive or so, the players finally arrived at their second destination for the day. Instantly, the players oohed and ahed in fascination as the bus came to a slow stop in front of the world's tallest freestanding structure. "This is the CN Tower," said Yumaki, but once again the players were too busy gawking out the windows to pay attention to their host. Standing over 1,800 feet tall, it is truly one of Toronto's prime spots. "That's awesome," muttered Kenta, grinning from ear to ear. For the next challenge, 3 athletes will need to climb over 1,770 steps to reach the observation deck. If all of them finish their climb in less than 28 minutes, you will add more money into the pot, explained Yumaki. The 3 athletes are Miyako, Satoshi, and Yamato. You will be starting your challenge at the base of the tower. The rest of us will wait for your arrival at the observation deck. Yeah, we'll win this, bellowed Ash at the back of the bus. He was psyched to finally participate in the challenge, rather than watching from the sidelines. Good luck, everyone, Sora added encouragingly. Then she turned to her boyfriend and gave him a quick, sweet peck on the cheeks. Whoa, I feel energized now. I'm ready to win, baby. Matt laughed, returning the kiss in favor. By the time they were about to begin the challenge, the atmosphere in the bus was swarming with positive thinking and higher spirits never experienced before. Looking forward to a first win, their previous loss was forgotten through the cheering and laughing going on. 9 of the players were certain that they were going to have a hands-down first victory. Only the 10th player was silently anticipating for a second loss. Okay, that was a bit of filler. I couldn't add it to the beginning of the next challenge and have it under the 10-minute limit. I tried, so excuse that. But thanks for listening. Later.